Welcome back to another episode of Who the F***. It's the show that aims to take a deep dive into some of the acts announced Reading and Leeds 2019. In today's video, we're looking at everyone you know, or everyone that you don't know. Do you know everyone you know? They're a kind of hip-hop meets indie punk duo. I don't know, that's a really bad way of describing them. Out from the outskirts of London. If you've never heard of them before, hopefully this video will help answer the question, who the F*** are everyone you know?
I think we got some issues.
That sounded like I was trying to interrogate you. That's silly. Everyone you know are made up of two brothers, Reese and Harvey. They're from the kind of outskirts of London. They describe themselves as the satellite towns of London. But the satellite towns of London are all over the outskirts of London. For example, Reading is a satellite town of London. But they mention playing their music on the Beds, Hearts and Bucks BBC Introducing channel. So that would put them in kind of the north to west parts of the outskirts of London. So it could be High Wycombe, it could be Luton, it could be Slough, it could be Reading, any of those. It's not confirmed, but it's going to be somewhere like that. They claim influences from people like the Wu-Tang Clan.
Bam! Move from the gate now. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
Shy Effects. And the Arctic Monkeys.
The best you ever had is just a memory.
Just a bit varied then. But I think they have this really great blend of kind of indie and dance. They remind me of people like Jack Garrett,
When I grow,
Robert DeLong, the Crystal Fighters. These people aren't just DJs or producers and aren't just singer-songwriters. There's this kind of wonderful middle part. Someone more recently that's been doing music like this is Nudes. And someone older is people like the Audio Bullies.
There's things I haven't told you. I go out late at night, and if I was to tell you, you'd see my different side.
Fuck me, I love the Audio Bullies. Some of their music has a real kind of a Mike Skinner of the Streets influence.
A new day, another morning after, leaning back on my chair in a greasy spoon cafeteria.
And some of their records have this really big, bolshy kind of electronic meets hip-hop narrative that reminds me of people like Hadouken.
That boy's a Hoxton hero, skinny fit jeans and dressed in pink.
Especially on the track Burning Down. They mentioned that their dad is a huge fan of kind of mid-90s East Coast hip-hop and jungle, introducing that to them as children. And I think this carries quite nicely across into their music. You know, I've always said that there are three different types of kind of overarching music. You get rock, you get urban, you get electronic. And I think if you're inspired by all three of those quite heavily and the kind of underground sounds of those genres, then you have this real wonderful kind of category of artist. And all those ones I mentioned before are people that I absolutely love, so clearly I'm a fan. But their music has those kind of whomping bass lines of mid to early noughties drum and bass and garage, having kind of jungle aim and breaks. They kind of flow sometimes like grime MCs. There's quite a lot going on in their music, and I think that works really well. They released their debut EP, Cheer Up Charlie, in October of last year. That was released on Sony Music, and I think maybe their own record label as well, EKY. The EP is actually lyrically a wonderful commentary on kind of youth culture of today and kind of the materialism of social media and Instagram. But it's something that I kind of quite align with, especially pushing 30, desperately trying to grab onto my youth. Something that I think a lot of young people have lost sight in. They also released a record on Friday entitled The Drive.
we're all jack, they're lads with bad habits. Back in Jack, stacking fag packets in our jackets.
Which is exactly how I think 21 Pilots would sound if they were from London. Yeah. So better. Their most popular record is a song called Dance Like They Used To.
They don't care what you say now, stay down off their face in the rave now. Wait, how can they stay so awake when the day is about to break? Use your brain now.
Currently sat on 29,000 views. That should be higher. And this will be their first time playing Reading and Leeds. They're currently set to open the dance stage on the Sunday at Reading and the Friday at Leeds. We all know how I feel about that slot. That's something that I'm not really particularly looking forward to. But they're a band that I think... I talk about energy all the time, and it's going to start turning into a meme if I'm not careful, but they're a band that are really pushing energy. Their music is inspired by all of the best bits of a lot of genres, and it's brought in a way that doesn't feel overwhelming or or cheap, and I'm really interested to see where their career takes them. I really like every single track on that EP of theirs. I highly recommend checking it out if you want to listen to something new, and I think that live, it's exactly what I want from Reading Festival, but they are playing on that Sunday morning. So I think I'm going to have to say right here that I'm going to have to push myself to get back to see the whole of Sunday, from Everyone You Know to Foo Fighters. I'm a really big fan of their sound. I think it's really, really cool, and a lot of people have started on that trajectory and kind of not gone anywhere. Robert DeLong and Jack Garrett are two classic cases of that. You know, Jack Garrett's first album was brilliant, but where is he? That came out like 3-4 years ago. Robert DeLong had that amazing record and then disappeared. So if they can harness that and be successful and proceed, I think they could be very, very big. So seeing them open up the dance stage at Reading is a must-see for me. So on the likely to see scale, I'm going to go with an 8 out of 10. What do you think? Are Everyone You Know and a band you're excited to see at this year's festival? Have you heard of them before? I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section below as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. I think it's also worth just mentioning about them that I just had that in my head and I completely forgot what it was. That's foolish. For those of you that watch this all the time, know that I've been following a pattern. Main stage Mondays, pit on the Wednesday, Tuesday and Thursday are 1 extra days, and on Friday we do the main stage. We also do Radio 1 and Festival Republic on the weekends. It's going to have to change soon. The reason that this is a dance stage on a Monday and not on a Friday is because Friday is the 100th video, and that's going to be Frank Hart and the Rattlesnakes. I've been absorbing his album, and I think I want to put a lot of time into that video, and I wanted it to be special. So, the 100th video, Frank Hart and the Rattlesnakes, coming this Friday. Thank you to everyone that's been watching. I'll see you soon. Cheers.